A very good morning to all. I'm Satya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from KCS Kasinada College of Arts and Science. In this video, we are going to see about the CPU scheduling introduction in operating system. The topics that are going to be covered are the basic concept in CPU scheduling, what are the scheduling criteria, and in the coming video, we can see about the scheduling algorithms. The objectives about the CPU scheduling algorithms are how various CPU scheduling algorithms are described. Access the CPU scheduling algorithm based on scheduling criteria. Explain the issues related to multiprocessor and multi-core scheduling. Describe various real-time scheduling algorithms. Describe the scheduling algorithms used in the Windows, Linux, and Solaris operating system. Apply modeling and simulation to evaluate CPU scheduling algorithm. The basic concept, how the process is executed. Maximum of CPU utilization obtained only with the multi-programming. The CPU as well as the IO burst cycle in process execution consists of cycle of CPU execution and IO wait only. CPU burst followed by the IO burst. CPU burst distribution is of main concern. IO burst means the process is in IO process means then we can say that is an IO burst. If it is needed in any input and output data, it is an IO burst. If it is not needed in data and is executed by the CPU means then it is said to be in CPU burst. The process execution is a mixture of CPU burst as well as in IO burst only. It's a combination of that. First we are loading and storing the data. That is the file to be executed. That is a CPU burst. If it is needed in IO, then it's move on to the IO burst. Then it store and increment the index right to the file. It's a work done by the CPU. If then second input is needed means then it's wait for the IO. Likewise, the IO as well as CPU burst are mixed together and it may come one after the other. Or CPU burst is a very long and IO burst may be small depending upon the processes. It's done during the time of executing a process. CPU scheduler. The CPU scheduler select among various processes in ready queue and allocate a CPU core to one of them. A ready queue is a queue where the process is stored. It's where it is ready for the execution. Among the process, one of the process is picked up by the CPU and it's be executed. Okay, the queue may be ordered in various ways. The CPU scheduling decision may take place when a process switches from running to waiting state, switches from running to ready state, switches from waiting to ready state, or it terminates. Okay, for the situation 1 and 4, there is no choice in terms of scheduling, and a new process must be selected for the execution if one exists in the ready queue. For the situation 2 and 3, however, there is a choice for the CPU scheduler. The CPU scheduling can be classified into two types, primitive and non-primitive. Primitive means forcibly we are removing the process from the CPU. Non-primitive means the process can use the CPU until the execution gets completed. When the scheduling takes place only under the circumstance of 1 and 4, that is we seen previous slide. The scheduling scheme is non-primitive. Otherwise, it is primitive. Under the non-primitive scheduling, once the CPU has been allocated to process, the process keeps the CPU until it releases. It's either by terminating or by switching to the waiting stage. Virtually all modern operating systems, including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and Unix, are primitive scheduling algorithm only. In primitive scheduling, the race condition may occur. Race condition means when two processes try to update a single variable. That is known as a race condition. Primitive scheduling can result in race condition when data are shared among several processes. Consider in a case when two processes share the data. When one process is updating the data, it is primitive so that the second process can run. The second process then try to read the data, which are in an inconsistent state. Dispatcher. That is dispatcher means dispatching something. Okay, here dispatcher means it's dispatching the process into the CPU for execution. The dispatcher module gives control of the CPU to the process selected by the CPU scheduler. This involves switching context, switching to user module, jumping to the proper location in the user program to restart that program. In dispatcher latency means the time take for the dispatcher to stop one process and start another running. Here, P0 process is executing. So, PCP means the process control block It have the details about the process P0, and it saved the status of the PCP not, and then it restored the state from the PCP1, and now P1 is executed. The P0 is executed in the topmost and P1 is executed in the lowermost. This 2 times only the CPU is on working. In the saving the state and restore the state, the CPU is idle. That is known as the dispatch latency. What are the scheduling criteria? Based upon this criteria only, the scheduling algorithms are designed. First, CPU utilization. Keep the CPU as busy as possible. Throughput. The processes that complete the execution per unit time. Turnaround time. The amount of time to execute a particular process. Waiting time. Amount of time your process has been waiting in the ready queue. Response time. Amount of time it takes from a request was submitted until the first response is produced. The first response is from the CPU only. Waiting time is waiting for the CPU in the ready queue. Turnaround time, that is overall execution time, that is known as the turnaround time. Scheduling algorithm optimization criteria. The algorithm can be designed based upon this criteria only. Basically, it should maximize the CPU utilization, maximize the throughput time, the turnaround time, waiting time, response time should be in minimum. Based upon this, we have to design the scheduling algorithm. Thank you.